Fucking hell.
Fuck, that scared me.
Yeah, fucking jumped. Jesus Christ. Bruh, that's not funny. Okay, well, at least shit works now. Oh, we still got Henry Johnson's card.
Woo! Let's go.
Yeah. Let's see, with all this,
Cars love.
with all this running around, you sort of forget. Damn it. You sort of forget sometimes the shit you have. Because you gotta go from point A
Point F. And
all
then,
to fucking Z.
yeah. And then reuse that item on point A.
It's easy to forget sometimes.
The door in front of you.
Yes.
We'll check that. Check all of those out, I think.
So all of them have a code, obviously. Which,
Yeah, but we don't know any of them except hers, which was on the brooch. Alright, Henry Johnson's office.
Vivian Roberts, dear Henry Johnson, I would like to thank you for your contribution to the Painscreek Community Hospital and the people of Painscreek for the past 2 decades. However, there have been reports regarding the mishandling of funds designated from Painscreek Community Hospital, most of which came from the Roberts Relief Fund. This support was meant to help with the purchases of medical equipment and supplies. Since a sum of nearly $160,000 has been estimated missing, we have no further choice except to open an investigation. Until you are able to explain the discrepancies between your accounting and ours, we have no choice but to suspend all funding for the hospital for the time being. I will be meeting you and your accountant to solve these issues so we may continue to support the hospital's needs.
Try the fax machine.
No.
Damn it.
Well, she quit the funding.
Henry, I just received a letter from the NMB investigation firm regarding the use of the RRF funds. I need you to call me. Henry, we really need to talk. Please call back. What's going on, Henry? Why aren't you returning my calls? This is really important.
I like that her voice acting is on par with how we read.
Yep.
Slightly autistic.
Slightly autistic and like no urgency. Oh, Trisha's room.
How do you remember that?
Because I edit the videos.
Fair. Charles Roberts, I don't know if this is a joke that you sent me the thread letters, but if you knew about the well, then you must have found out the truth. Just so you know, your wife was the one behind it all. If you have any grudge, it's with her, not me. I was just a witness in Sophie's death. Nothing more. Fax it tomorrow. I guess he never got around to it. Did he?
No, because he...
Well, yeah, he died. I know what you did. Meet me at the well at midnight. You know which one. Come alone. Do you notice the E's?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same as the secret lies with her letter.
Oh, I can't touch that one. Okay. So
do you think that Charles was the one who brought Stephen Moss into the town?
I'm not sure, if I'm honest with you. I don't have any evidence for that yet.
Well, no concrete evidence, but we do have suspicions on the letter E being misplaced. Although it's such a weird place to put the message on.
What, a piece of paper?
No, it's in the center of the paper.
I suppose that's a decent point, yeah.
Like I'm questioning how he managed to put typewriting, like typewriter letters on in the middle of the paper.
Yeah, you can move the thing. Happily
Happily
ever after.
ever after.
Right. Oh,
Ooh.
Scott's body was found behind a bush on Maple Drive. The police are currently investigating the case. I did wonder how he died. Scott Brooks' body found by jogger with multiple stab wounds to the heart. Jesus. If police unsure if events were tied to the killings of Vivian Roberts. Scott Brooks, the murder suspect on the Vivian Roberts case, was killed yesterday. His body was found on the roadside along Maple Drive. At around 6:50, a jogger happened to see a body lying motionless on the side of the road behind a bush while doing his morning run. He stopped to check if the person needed help, only to notice that the body was covered in blood. He immediately called 911. The police arrived shortly at around 7 a.m., and the victim was pronounced dead. The time of death was predicted to be about 4 to 6 hours ago, putting the time of death between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. Questions have been raised pertaining to the murder of Vivian Roberts, especially since Scott was released from prison. Okay, so somebody shanked him. I think you got a pretty good idea who.
Oh.
Well, think about it. Bernard the butler was so obsessed with Vivian. Like, it was an obsession. If you remember his diary, the way it was like, oh, my perfect woman, Vivian, and then he, like, scratched it out. You know? The fact that he had... The fact that he had her book on a pedestal. The fact that one of his knives was missing. It's like,
And he had suspicions against Scott, right?
yeah. Looks like a room key.
Oh, maybe it's the locked room in the house. This is Dorothy's. Oh, it's her. Then it's probably her bedroom.
Read.
Yesterday, on hearing that Scott was apprehended for the murder of her mother, Trisha collapsed. The hospital called this morning to inform us that it was just a nervous breakdown. However, they suggested that she should stay there for a couple of days. Charles is asking me to stay by her side. It rained today. Trisha has always hated the rain. She stayed in bed, tucked under the blanket, nearly the entire day. Here and there she mutters Scott's name out loud. She's cried herself to sleep a few times. It pains me to see her like this. Charles visits Trisha almost every day. Today he was quieter than usual. All of a sudden, he told me that Vivian had been seeing another man, apparently a banker, for more than a year. He asked me if Vivian ever talked to me about it. I said I didn't know anything, but was sure that Vivian would never have done such a thing. Then I realized that Trisha was awake. I'm not sure if she heard our conversation. Sheriff Howard came today. He asked me if I remember seeing anything suspicious the night Vivian died. I already told him everything I knew. It's frustrating to be asked over and over about things that I just want to forget. Before he left, I asked if Scott could really be the killer. He said he's wondering the same thing. If Scott was not the killer, then who killed Vivian? Derek came to see Trisha. I asked him how he was doing. He said that the medical expenses for Wanda were more than he expected. Even with Charles's help, he's been forced to use the most of his savings. He's currently searching for a second job. He asked me if there was a future for him. Traveling with Charles made him see some of the rather ugly sides of the world. His mother is hospitalized with terminal cancer, and seeing his best friend, Trisha, like this pains him. I didn't know what to tell him. Before he left, he leaned close to her and whispered, "Would it have been better if Scott just never showed up? Would you have chosen me? I wish that I never heard that."
Oof.
Well, We also have another suspect for who killed Scott.
Another suspect indeed. Um, Dorothy's house. We're going to pass it, so that's where we should go first. After that, we can go to
The inn.
the inn, and then the
Bernard.
house of the butler.
Bum, bum, bum. It is always the butler.
How right you are. You know, one of these days when I come out of these buildings, somebody's gonna be waiting here for me.
Yeah, I mean, it is a creepy town, so I'm not surprised.
Creep it down full of nothing where stuff happens. What we're doing at the moment is gathering evidence.
Well, yeah, I know, but there's so much evidence. Like, for someone to actually understand the whole, like, who killed Vivian, you know, they would have to know the whole story behind everything.
But yeah, that's why we're reading the diaries that everyone conveniently left behind.
Conveniently. Or they all turned into diaries. Their thoughts turned into diaries.
That cross is a little bit unnerving. Ooh. Oh. Thought there's gonna be something there. Daughter of ex-mayor found dead at Painscreek Community Hospital. Dude, what the fuck? Oh, what?
Everyone's fucking died. Oh, whoa. Wait, she fell from the roof?
Trisha Roberts falls 40 feet from the rooftop, lands on head and dies.
I like that that's the snippet. It's like, don't have to read everything else. You just have to know that she died.
Yesterday morning, the body of Trisha Roberts was found on the grounds of Painscreek Community Hospital. She was pronounced dead at 7:20 a.m. According to Miss Thompson, she was starting her morning shift when she heard some sound near the reception area. She went out to find Trisha lying motionless. Blood was flowing out from her head. She quickly called Dr. Bennett, the attending physician for the day's morning shift, who brought Trisha to the emergency room at once. Unfortunately, it was too late. The hospital CCTV shows that Trisha Roberts was walking around the hospital at around 6:30 a.m. She headed to the roof at 6:54. A few minutes later, her body was found on the ground 3 floors below. Charles Roberts, ex-mayor and father of the deceased.
Dorothy's?
Mm-hmm.
Scott was released from prison this morning. Matthew went to pick him up. There's a lot of tension here in Painscreek. Most people think of Scott as a murderer. Charles tried to stop Trisha from seeing Scott, but it's no use. She was already waiting for him at the cabin. Charles is drinking again. He couldn't stop Trisha from trying to see Scott, yet Scott seems to be avoiding her. Trisha should not have been discharged from the hospital at this point. She still needs help and rehabilitation. Derek and Scott fought at the market today. Derek asked Scott why he's avoiding Trisha. Scott didn't say anything. He just walked away. Derek told him not to come back anymore. It's sad to see what's happening to them now. They used to be such good friends. Oh my god, Scott was killed. Trisha's been going crazy ever since Scott died. She sometimes screams in the middle of the night. Here and there she'll ask us why Scott hasn't visited her for a while. No one seems to know how to answer without agitating her condition. Trisha is finally being admitted to the hospital for another mental breakdown. Charles doesn't know what to do. I've asked for his permission to take care of Trisha at the hospital until she recovers. I think Charles appreciates my help.
She died when? 27. Oh. Let's just say it's a few days afterwards. Oh! Sophia!
Oh, it's her locket. Oh, 5. Something.
0526. Wow.
Dear Sophia, how have you been? I hope everyone is treating you well at the mansion. It's been 6 months since my missionary work started here in Indonesia. Life here is hard and but meaningful. Yeah, I thought my life at the orphanage was miserable, but after coming here, I realized that I am blessed more than I could have ever imagined. I'm supposed to be back in 1 week's time, but I recently decided that I'll be extending my stay here for another 6 months. I haven't received any letters from you for a while now. I hope you're doing well. Remember the last time when we were at the orphanage, you said that you don't want to be poor anymore. I think God heard your call and brought you to Painscreek. Charles and Vivian told me that they were glad I introduced you to them. They said you were a hard-working person with a kind heart, and that us being related was not the reason they hired you. You got the job on your own merit. I did not know whether or not to tell them that we are not actually cousins. I feel bad for lying to them. I guess I'll have to tell them the truth someday. Having said that, I'm glad that you are in Payne's Creek. We can talk and meet any time, just like the good old days at the orphanage. I will do my best here. I hope you can wait for me. Best regards, Matthew Brooks. P.S. I have prepared a special present for your birthday. Wait for my telegram that day. Wow. Miller.
I know some people don't like me. Wanda always picks on me, and Bernard ignores me most of the time. Andrew, well, he's okay as long as I'm not in his garden. Dorothy cares a lot for me, though. I like her. Tom, our security guard, treats me with respect even though I'm just a housemaid. Vivian and Charles are kind to me. Oh, and Matthew too. I almost forgot about him. He's been taking care of me forever. Certainly as long as I can remember. I'm a lucky girl. Matthew talks to me whenever he has time. Sometimes I feel he's trying to escape his chores at the church. We'll talk about everything under the sun. Our hopes, dreams, futures. It reminds me of our days at the orphanage. Landing a job here as a maid was the best thing that could have happened to me. However, I never imagined I would be having an affair with a married man, let alone my employer. Now I'm carrying his child. How do I face Matthew? I received a letter from Matthew today, saying that he'll be extending his stay in Indonesia for 6 more months. That's always been him. He's always had a noble heart, wanting to help people everywhere. I miss him, but I'm glad he decided to extend his stay there. It gives me time to prepare how I'll explain my situation to him. I don't know how he'll take it if he just hears the truth blurted out once he gets back. I received a telegram this morning from Matthew wishing me a happy birthday. He told me he had a special birthday present prepared for me. All I need to do is to find the clues that he placed in our favorite places. He's waiting for my telegram after I've solved the puzzle. I've actually solved it already, but I don't know what to say to him. What should I do? My baby was born today at 8:20 a.m. and it's a boy. He looks just like Charles. So he was born on June 1st. Dorothy's taking good care of us. She prepares the food and attends to my needs. I almost feel like I'm her boss. Charles visits me all the time, asking if we need anything else. I told him he didn't have to come so often and to instead focus on work. As a mayor, he must have a lot on his mind. Charles told me today that his mother, Magdalene, will be arriving in 2 weeks. She knows about our relationship. I feel nervous because she's a strict woman. At the same time, I'm happy because she told Charles to take responsibility for me and my son. Soon, I won't have to be a maid anymore. Charles has decided to name our child Vincent Roberts. I like that name. To be fair, I like the name Vincent as well. So they are forgiven for their sins. Oliver Photo Lab cleaning. Where's the key? Ah, there it is. We just got
Do you
the
think
key.
that's for the photo lab?
Probably. I'd say it is.
Oh, Jesus.
Dear Dorothy, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude for all you've done for me. You've taken care of my store on so many occasions. You've helped maintain its bright spirit. I'd be lying if I said that I'm not saddened by your departure. I will greatly miss you. I wish you all the best in your new place. Do invite me there once you settle in. May God be with you. Best regards, Oliver Gibson. Well, this was quite fruitful, actually.
It was.
I'm actually a little bit satisfied. Not gonna lie to you. We got a lot of stuff to look at.
We can now have a shovel. We should probably do that before going to the cemetery.
We should. Yeah. Now we need to go to the briefcase first.
Wait, isn't the studio, the photo studio between Dorothy's and
And this is the photo studio.
I like the clock.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Yep, nobody can read it.
Oh no, it's a real life clock somewhere.
I know it's a
Think it's
clock in
Prague, isn't it?
yeah, it might be.
I think it's in Prague, but obviously I'm not too sure.
I know there's like a clock that nobody can read. Like
Mhm.
nobody knows how to read.
A wrench.
Oh, we have a wrench.
Hmm.
What could that be used for?
Office of Church Haven, Old Jersey. Dear Mr. Oliver Gibson, we regret to hear that Father Matthew will not be joining any part of the annual religious gathering event from July 18th till the 23rd in South York. We received Father Matthew's memo yesterday stating that he was also not feeling well. I assume he has also informed you about this last minute change. Please send him our regards. We wish him a swift recovery so he may serve the people of Painscreek soon. Todd McDermott. Nothing. Oh, he has a diary as well.
Who doesn't in this town?
We just attended Trisha's funeral this morning. Charles tried to be strong, but by the end of the ceremony, his face was wet. Dorothy cried her heart out. It truly pains the soul to witness so many deaths occur here in Painscreek. Every one of those deaths was a person I knew, and some were very close to me. Among them, Vivian's death shocked me the most. Despite what the media said, I will not for even a moment believe that Scott killed her. It just doesn't make sense to me. Trisha's death hurt me the most, probably because I spent the last few years mentoring her. She was smart, kind, and very talented. She was turning into a very promising young woman. With her passing, Charles has lost all his family members. He's all alone. I can't imagine the pain he's going through. Dorothy left Painscreek early February, a month after Trisha's funeral. The hospital closed shortly afterwards. By the end of the month, Charles had packed and departed Painscreek for good. Wanda passed away on March 12, 1996. Her cancer had spread too far and too deep. The doctors could not save her. 2 weeks after her funeral, Derek moved out of Painscreek. Autumn is approaching. My photography store will be closing by the end of this month. I have many things to say, but there's no one left to confide in. Anyways, I've been thinking about retiring for quite a while now. Maybe the time has come.
This would explain the series of events as to why everyone is like gone.
That is true. Oh, look, and he was not on any pills, which is surprising.
And no antidepressants or anything.
He'd be the only one in town. Now, my question is, where's the shovel?
Now that is a good question. Okay, well, anyway, it's probably in behind one of the locked doors. Anyway, let's go back to the inn. Finally open that briefcase.
There he is.
Oh, there's the shovel.
Yeah, I was like, no, it has to be somewhere, right? Okay. We have the shovel.
Oh,
Oh, thanks for the clue, jackass. We only spent forever to go for Charles to save in the gallery is Vincent's birthday. How could I have not thought about that? Call Sheriff James, check his file.
7741. That might be the lock to his cabinet,
Oh, damn.
the sheriff's cabinet.
Did you write it down?
Yes.
Autopsy report. 44-year-old white male with burns found at home, pronounced dead at the scene. Third-degree burns found across body, completely charred over the head, face, neck, and hands, heavily charred across the front and the back of the body, legs and feet. Closer inspection reveals punctured lungs with an object similar to a switchblade or small knife. The pneumothorax is a possible cause of death, but body is too burnt to confirm. You think he was stabbed, like he was killed, and then the house was set on fire to cover it up?
Yeah, probably, most likely.
61-year-old white male pulled out a car submerged in lake. Victim's lungs do not contain water, which shows that he did not die by drowning. Due to the prolonged submerging of the body in water, the estimated time of death might not be accurate. Estimated time of death is between 12 and 16 days. Top right side of the skull, leaning towards the front and above the right eye, has a wide crack, usually caused by a sharp object or strong force. Front torso, face, and back portion of the forearms suffered numerous lacerations. Victim most likely succumbed to blood loss before being placed in water. 55-year-old white male found lying in front of mansion gates, pronounced dead at the scene. 12 centimeters wide and 7 centimeters deep crack found on the right side of the head, impact caused by strong force with a sharp object. Lacerations on the front torso and back sides of both forearms. Victim died from loss of blood. Huh. Okay. Okay, I see. Damn, we have a lot to look at.
We do. Though I still don't, I don't know who would kill Henry Johnson and Andrew V. I'm presuming it's Charles,